First of all, like always, I want to thank everybody for coming out, especially this week. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I know we got a bunch of players out today doing community service over at the Village and at a bunch of the local elementary schools. So great opportunity and great time to spend some time with family and take a moment and appreciate what we're all thankful for and what we're blessed for. So I look forward to having a bunch of guys at my house on Thanksgiving for dinner, as well as we have a team Thanksgiving meal here as well after practice. So thought I would leave with that. Kind of reviewing the Rutgers game real quick. Really, just like we talked about after the game, the critical stats we won. We won the turnover battle, we won the penalty battle, the drive start battle, the sack battle, and then the explosive play battle. We won it. We didn't meet our goals, but we won it in terms of had more explosive plays than them. Players of the week on offense was Pat Fryermuth. Defense, we really didn't want to single one guy out, so we went with the defensive line. The entire defensive line is playing at a really high level right now. And then on special teams, Blake Gilligan. Some kind of general last points about that game. Positives, defense is doing a great job creating turnovers right now. Really should have had one more in the game. We had the strip sack fumble. We should have had another one there. Defense is doing a really good job of getting off the field right now. At 5 3-and-outs, and they were 67% on third down, and then our offense did a much better job on third down as well. And then I thought protected our quarterback. We had 0 sacks in the game, and we were able to get 4. So I thought those were kind of big deciding factors in the game. Opportunities for growth. We got to eliminate the critical errors and penalties. So. We had an unsportsmanlike penalty. It would have been 4th and 24. We give them a first down. We can't do those things. And then we had another personal foul on a second down run. Would have been 3rd and 11, and we give them a first down. So we got to get those things cleaned up. And then offensively, we got to finish drives. I think we had 2 drives on Saturday that went for 12 plays or more, and we weren't able to finish the way we should finish. So those are the things that really kind of jumped out after watching the game and making some corrections.
James, do you know how the speculation regarding you and the USC job got started, and how would you like to address it?
Yeah, first of all, I guess it's that time of year where all this stuff happens. It's that time of year. It's the crazy, mad time of year where these types of things happen. So as you guys know, like always, we're focused on Maryland completely, 100%. I don't even think it's fair or right to even be talking about that job, from everything I understand about it. But we're completely focused on Maryland.
Frank Bonanni, Rookie of the Record.
Hey James, happy Thanksgiving with you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. I appreciate that.
Thanks. About Trey, I know this year in a lot of ways it's been harder for him than maybe say last year. The injuries, receivers dropping the ball. What has impressed you the most about how he especially handled the second half of this season, and how do you think he's going to do senior day?
Well, I think the way I kind of look at Trace is I don't know if Trace in some ways we've kind of kindred spirits and souls. I don't know if anything's ever come easy to Trace. He's had to battle and work for everything he's gotten his whole career. So. I think he's made for this. I think he's built for this. It's kind of like we talked about on Saturday. After one of those touchdowns, I just said, "Hey, we're just gonna grind through it. We're just gonna work through it." And I think that's kind of how Trace has been. He's earned everything he's gotten in life. No one's given him anything. He hasn't been in a situation. I think. Different than this in his entire life. So I think he's built for these types of things. That's why I think there's so much confidence and trust in our locker room and our coaches with him, because all he knows how to do is walk in a room with a chip on his shoulder and prove people wrong and overcome adversity. I couldn't be more impressed, but I'm not surprised by it. I'm not shocked by it, whatsoever. He's built for this, and he's a self-made man in a lot of ways.
Joe Giuliano, Philadelphia Inquirer.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, Joe.
I know the goal is always to go 1-0 every week, but this week, is there any emphasis on the fact that going 1-0 could get you into possibly a New Year's Six bowl and keep you alive for a third consecutive 10-win season?
No, not at this point, but I will tell you this, this senior class, you look at what they've been able to accomplish at Penn State. They came to Penn State at a very tough time, we all did, and really battled and worked like crazy to kind of work through it. You look at their record, this senior class, I think all things considered, maybe one of the most impressive senior classes in school history, all things considered. You look at what this senior class has been able to do in the Big Ten era. If you just take the Big Ten era, and you look what we've been able to do, what they've been able to do over the last 3 years, this year and the previous 2 years in the Big Ten era, pretty impressive. So, we're going to take it 1-0. There's no doubt about it. But I do think there's an awareness and there's an appreciation for what this senior class and what these guys have been able to do over their time here. Some of them are 4-year guys, some of them are 5-year guys. But it's pretty impressive when you take all things into consideration, which I don't know if a lot of people do all the time, and I think they should with these guys.
Coming off the mix of the old and the new, what do you remember about kind of those moments where you had to make those phone calls to guys like Trace and say, hey, I'm not a Vanderbilt anymore, and what do you remember now about how they kind of responded to that?
Well, it's funny because we do the shares now where the guys get up and talk, and I guess I did know it, but I forgot. A lot of those guys were really mad because they were committed, and then we left, and then we came here, and that was at a time where a lot of things were changing here on our campus. So literally, the entire staff, we couldn't be in the Lash building. So I remember I go over to the Lash building, like the only person there. They wouldn't let the assistants over because they hadn't cleared through HR yet. I mean, it was madness. We couldn't call recruits for a certain period of time until we cleared because we couldn't be calling on behalf of Penn State. So we didn't talk to these guys from the time we left Vanderbilt to the time we actually cleared here for like a week and a half or so. And now they're mad at us, because they're like, they're kind of left out, kind of stuck in between all of that. So I remember sitting in that, I guess it was the Penn Stater. No, yeah, it was the Penn Stater. And we were all kind of stuck in that room for however long it was. And fortunately, when we were able to get these guys on the phone and kind of explain the situation, most of them were really good. But some of them, it was a battle, and feelings were hurt and things like that. But it's hard to explain to a 17-year-old kid about HR, and clearing the paperwork and those types of things from a compliance standpoint as well as a university standpoint. And to be honest, I don't know if every place does it that way. They just start calling. So it was interesting. There's no doubt about it. But there's a lot of stories that are told from the staff. That was all here during that time. It was a complete scramble. Because I think, was it January 18th or something like that? Somewhere around there, 16th, 14th, something like that. And signing day obviously was February. So it was a complete scramble.